The bigger the dream, the greater the sacrifices. A quote that really sad quote, because you'd hear the quote and you'd be like, yeah, that's obvious. Like, the greater the goal is, the greater the dream is, the greater the sacrifices. Until you actually understand what the sacrifices are. Because you'd see, most of the time you'd find that you'd be thinking that the sacrifice would be the bad things, like you're sacrificing the fast food, you're sacrificing that, you're sacrificing. Those are the easy sacrifices. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to sacrifice them, but those are the sacrifices that you'd like. You can live without them. But what would you do? What do you do when now the sacrifices are things like your friends, for instance, a loved one, maybe your wife, no, not your wife, maybe your girlfriend, maybe your health for a time frame, maybe your sleep. What then? What if the goal is so big that you have to cut off all your entire friends? What if it's that big? Because you see, sometimes God gives us these goals, man, these dreams, these plans that are so huge that you cannot fit in with anybody. Like you cannot fit in with the ordinary people because you've been called for so much more. See, David had to leave the plants. He had to leave the farm. Joseph had to leave. All these people had to leave the mediocre lives, the things that they were so close to. They had to leave their family. They had to leave this. They had to leave that, because God had bigger plans for them. Now you gotta make up you gotta make up your mind, because the sacrifice has to be made. Now, and this is how it's gonna be. Because there's a quote that says, "An action, it's in and of itself is an action." By choosing not to do something, okay, by by thinking of whether to do something or not to do something, at that moment you are not doing that something. So it is an action in and of itself. It's a decision. You have decided not to do that thing by deciding whether or not to do that thing. This English is gonna kill me. So that is basically today's video. To close, either you sacrifice for your goals or your goals become the sacrifice.